Hi there, this is Michael Varner, owner and operator of Varner's Crafts. What you're seeing is some of the supplies that you're going to need to make a face mask. There are several ones, and I even have a couple different. Hello. I have a couple different videos of me teaching people how to make face masks. Um, this technique is clean. It looks really professional, and it's nice. The other ways is quick. Like if you need it now, and you want something that's going to still work as a face mask, might not look as pretty, my other videos will show you how to do that, especially if you have a serger. You can do face mask in just a couple minutes on a serger. Um, but that's also another video. So this way, you need two 8x8 pieces or 8x8.5 pieces of fabric. A good solid cotton for the front. Um, you could use, a lot of people are using like microfiber, a thick kind of thing like that. What I use is a good cotton. It's a nice solid cotton, and same thing for the back. I use a cotton like a Kona or something like that. Is a nice thick cotton, white. You want white, and muslin works as well, but you want a white one. And reason being is because there's no chemicals or anything like that, and it's going to be against your face or somebody else's face, and you don't want it to break out or anything like that. Um, so you need those two pieces along with a piece of Pellon 809. This is the filter. Now this is a thick, a lot of people are using like a thinner one, and that still works, but this even works better. This is like on its own, it's like those paper masks that you get, um, almost as strong as those or as stiff as those. Um, it's almost like that. This we're it's a fusible, so we're going to fuse this to the wrong side of the fabric that's going to be facing out. All right, so let me move this stuff here, and let's get my fabric. That's the right side. We want the wrong side, and you want a good hot iron with some steam. A lot of times they say on wool, but listen, I've got a good pressing mat underneath this thing. It's made of wool, and it says don't use steam. I still use steam. It works better. Um, just give that a good press and hold for each spot, probably 4 or 5 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds, and then just kind of rub back and forth, kind of thing, like iron it, and it's going to be attached. All right. So see how much this is going to cover your face. Um, I'm going to take my muslin and I'm going to take what I just did and I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'll be right back. Hey there. Okay, so back on my sewing machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the right sides of this fabric and the wrong side of the ribbon. So I want the right side of the ribbon to stick out. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to do these four corners here because, wait, I'm sorry. You want the right side of the fabric to be on the right side of the ribbon because when you flip this over, it's going to be out like that. All right. So we're going to do that. And I use these clips instead of using pins. I have pins and I use them, but these clips work way better for me and they're really good. And again, I'm not promoting anybody. I'm just showing you what I use. So I'm going to take and I'm going to clip that on all four sides or four corners. Four sides, my goodness. I've been making these for a living, basically. I was donating them and then it kind of turned into a business with outside sources. And I've been making so many of these, my brain is not not quite with me here. There it is. Excuse me. All right. Now, all right. Now, once I have all these four corners done, if I can get this on the right side of the fabric. Okay. Once all four corners are done, I'm going to take my muslin and I'm going to put it right on top of that. Right on top of this, I'm going to take my fingers and pinch the ribbon in both sides of the fabric to keep the ribbon from moving, and then I'm going to clip it or pin it if you're using pins. All right, I'm going to do that all the way around. Practice what you preach. Here I go dropping it. Butterfingers. Technical difficulties. What I'm going to do when I get down to the corner is I'm going to leave that open for a second. Reason being is I'm going to take this bigger clip or pin or pins if you need more than one. I'm going to take this ribbon that's sticking out and I'm just going to kind of twist it up. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's going to get in your way as you're trying to sew the perimeter. You're going to have ribbon. And if you sew over your ribbon, then it's kind of like, All right, so I'm going to tuck that back in there and set in between my sandwich here. And I'm going to clip that one. So I got it tucked away in here. I'm going to keep it in the middle the best way I can. I'm going to put this to my sewing machine. Remove the first clip. I know that ribbon's going like this, so I'm going to sew like this across it. And I'm going to sew in a straight stitch. And I'm going to sew the whole perimeter around the outside. And I'm going to leave about, I don't know, maybe 3 inches. My hands are kind of big. You can go smaller, so that way I can turn it right side out when I'm done. And then I'm going to put some pleats in it, and we're going to sew it up with some fancy stitching. And I'm going to do that and be right back. Now I'm using about a 3/8 of an inch of a seam allowance. I'm going around, I'm going just about 3/8 of an inch. But I'm rounding around my corners. Instead of sewing square, I round them. And then I take and clip my corners. And I trim off that 3/8 of an inch. You could press it if you like. I just trim it. You're getting ready to press it anyways to set your stitches. And I just want the bulk out of here. Get the bulk out of here. I'm going to finish doing that and I'll be right back. All right. So I've got it over there from the machine. I just sewed the perimeter on the outside. And I'm missing a thing. I'll be right back. Okay, technical difficulties there. Hey, it happens. I'm telling you, my brain is just... Anyways, so I'm going to take that open spot and I'm going to fold that fabric in about 3/8 of an inch inside. Trim off your threads. That ribbon is going to go down and then you flip it back up. All right, so now I've got that about done. I'm going to give it a good press with steam. Nice and crisp. Okay. Now that we're nice and crisp, I'm going to take my mask and I'm going to do 3 pleats. And if you don't know how to do a pleat, you just take the fabric, fold it over, iron it, give it a good press with some steam. Now I'm not going to pin it or clip it. I'm just going to use my fingers. But for those of you that are unsure, this is a pleat. I'm going to fold my fabric over, then back up. Then I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to pin straight through the pleat, back up like that. Okay, so my pleat will be secure until I sew it. I'm not going to do that. I'll leave that one because it's done. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is just hold it with my fingers, besides that one. Oops, no, let's move that. That's going to poke me. I've been doing the masks, so many masks that it's like second nature now. And if your mask doesn't turn out 100% perfect, it's okay. It's okay. Trust me. As long as it's doing what it needs to do, if it's going to cover your face and protect your breathing and you snotting on somebody or them snotting in your face, It's good. So I'm going to take this, now that I've got three pleats, like an accordion, three pleats are in it. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and I have a fancy stitch that I'm going to stitch all the way around the perimeter. You're going back over your tags here in the center, your tags, your ribbon, and you're going to run back over that ribbon with your decorative stitch. Or if you don't have a decorative stitch, you can use a zigzag stitch, or even a straight stitch. Some people just do a straight stitch, but not me. I'm going to get a little fancy. I have a really cool feature on one of my sewing machines, and it's this one. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know how you're allowed to do this or not. But anyways, so I'm going to set it to 54, and that's on my Singer. And then I'm going to start at one corner, which would be one of the ribbon corners, and I'm going to go around the entire mask. And I'm going to pivot on the corners. You might have to stop your machine, leave your needle down, and pivot. I don't have to do that. I just pivot as we're going. Time is money. And there's those pleats again. It makes my sewing machine sound like a jackhammer. Coming down the home stretch. I guess I should have paused this while I was doing this, but oh well, sew with me. Alright, I'm back at where I started. Trim my threads. I am the world's worst about leaving threads. For some reason, it's a curse or something, trying to remove all the threads. All right, anyways, so here's my mask, and I have my decorative stitch, which you can see better on the back side. A nice little perimeter. So I'm going to take my mask. Oops. Come back here, fingers. I'm going to tie it behind my head. And behind my neck. Oops. Hand and eye coordination. I'm too used to seeing in front of me. Anyways, there you go. So I got my mask on. I'm protected. I'm in good shape. And that's how you make a nice, crisp, semi-professional, handmade without looking homemade. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Happy sewing.